Imagine standing on a hill in the heart of Europe, watching a story unfold. A story that spans over 2,000 years. This is the story of France, a land shaped by warriors, kings, thinkers, revolutionaries, and dreamers. We'll walk with Celtic tribes, march with Roman legions, and witness the rise and fall of empires. France's history is not just a list of dates, but a human drama, full of passion, ambition, and the search for freedom. From ancient forests to grand palaces, from bloody battlefields to revolutionary streets, we'll meet the people who shaped the nation. France's journey is like a river, sometimes calm, sometimes a raging storm, always moving forward. The ideas born here, liberty, equality, human rights, have inspired the world. Our adventure begins before France was even called France, in a wild land known as Gaul. Celtic warriors lived in hidden villages until Julius Caesar and his Roman armies arrived, changing everything. The story of France is one of transformation, of cultures mixing, clashing, and creating something new. From scattered tribes to a powerful empire and then a modern republic, the French identity was forged. We'll explore soaring cathedrals, stand in the shadow of the guillotine, and ride with Napoleon's armies. We'll hide with the resistance during World War II and see how each chapter builds on the last. This is the story of a nation built, lost, and rebuilt. A country that dares to dream, fight, and change the world. Let's begin this incredible journey together. Before the Eiffel Tower, France was Gaul, a land of forests, rivers, and Celtic tribes. The Gauls were skilled metalworkers and fierce warriors, living in fortified hilltop villages. Divided among many chieftains, their lack of unity became their weakness when Rome arrived. Julius Caesar invaded in 58 BC, launching the brutal Gallic Wars. Vercingetorix, a great Gallic leader, united the tribes but was ultimately defeated at Alesia. Roman conquest transformed Gaul. Roads, cities, temples, and arenas appeared. Cultures blended into Gallo-Roman society and Latin mixed with Celtic tongues, laying the foundation for French. For centuries, Gaul prospered under Rome, but by the 5th century, the empire weakened. Germanic tribes crossed the borders. The Franks, led by Clovis, conquered northern Gaul. Clovis converted to Christianity, uniting the Franks and Gallo-Romans under one faith and ruler. This was the birth of a new kingdom and the roots of modern France. After Rome, Gaul was a patchwork of warring kingdoms. Clovis, king of the Franks, united the land through war, politics, and his conversion to Christianity. His baptism won him the church's support, transforming him from chieftain to Christian king. The Merovingian dynasty he founded soon weakened as power shifted to the mayors of the palace. Charles Martel, the Hammer, rose as a powerful mayor. In 732, he defeated a massive Umayyad army at the Battle of Tours, halting the Islamic advance into Europe. Charles's son, Pepin the Short, with the Pope's blessing, became king, founding the Carolingian dynasty. The stage was set for the rise of Charlemagne, the greatest Carolingian ruler. Charlemagne, Charles the Great, expanded the Frankish kingdom into a vast empire. He was a warrior, politician, and champion of learning. On Christmas Day, 800 AD, the Pope crowned him Emperor of the Romans, reviving the Western Empire. Charlemagne governed with royal officials, standardized laws, and promoted education. His court at Aachen became a center of learning, sparking the Carolingian Renaissance. After his death, the empire split among his grandsons, but his legacy endured. West Francia became France, East Francia, Germany. Charlemagne is remembered as the father of Europe, laying the foundations for modern nations. After Charlemagne West, Francia faced invasions and weak kings. In 987, Hugh Capet became king, founding the Capetian dynasty. Early Capetians ruled only around Paris, but gradually expanded their power. Clever marriages, wars, and royal authority built a stronger France. The Middle Ages saw feudalism, knights, and magnificent cathedrals like Notre Dame. The greatest challenge came with the 100 Years' War against England. English victories left France devastated, but hope arrived in the form of Joan of Arc. This peasant girl inspired the French, lifted the siege of Orléans, and turned the tide of war. After the 100 Years' War, France entered the Renaissance. Kings like Francis I brought artists and scholars, building grand chateaux and fostering culture. But religious conflict erupted between Catholics and Huguenots, leading to brutal wars and massacres. Henry IV ended the wars with the Edict of Nantes, granting religious freedom. The monarchy reached its peak under Louis XIV, the Sun King. He built Versailles, symbolizing absolute power, and kept nobles under his control. His reign was a golden age for French culture, but constant wars and extravagance left France in debt. planting seeds for revolution. By the late 1700s, France was bankrupt and divided. The nobility and clergy lived in luxury, while commoners suffered under heavy taxes and food shortages. Enlightenment thinkers inspired calls for liberty and equality. In 1789, the Third Estate broke away, forming the National Assembly and vowing to write a new constitution. The storming of the Bastille ignited the French Revolution. The Declaration of the Rights of Man proclaimed freedom and equality. The monarchy was abolished. France became a republic. The revolution turned radical. The Reign of Terror saw thousands executed by guillotine, including the king and queen. Eventually, the revolutionaries turned on each other, ending the terror but leaving France unstable and at war. Amid chaos, Napoleon Bonaparte rose from army officer to national hero. In 1799, he seized power, becoming first consul, then crowned himself emperor in 1804. Napoleon reformed laws, government and education. His Napoleonic Code shaped modern France and beyond. His grand army conquered much of Europe, but his ambition led to disaster in Russia. The failed invasion decimated his forces. Europe united against him. Defeated and exiled, Napoleon briefly returned for the 100 Days, but was finally crushed at Waterloo. His legacy, a modernized France and a reshaped Europe. After Napoleon, France endured political upheaval, monarchies, republics, and another emperor. The Third Republic brought stability, but the 20th century brought two world wars. World War I devastated France. Millions died, and the land was scarred. In World War II, Nazi Germany occupied France, but Charles de Gaulle led the resistance and Free French forces. After liberation, de Gaulle shaped the Fifth Republic, giving France a strong presidency. Today, France is a global leader in culture, art and diplomacy, facing modern challenges but proud of its history. The story of France is one of resilience, a nation that rebuilds, reinvents, and inspires the world.